Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40K Universe. I am your host, Gershwan, and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today, we continue talking about more obscure lore of Warhammer 40K. We're going to be talking about a human civilization that did not become part of the Imperium. What's special about this civilization is that not only was it friendly towards Xenos, but it was also more technologically advanced than the Imperium itself in many aspects, but ultimately not the most important aspect, which was military. If you guys know of any other human civilizations that existed within Warhammer 40K or that still does exist within Warhammer 40K that is not part of the Imperium, I would love to find out the name and see if we can create a video for that civilization. And again, if you're new to the channel, we post Warhammer 40K content every single day, so be sure to subscribe. With that said, let's get into 40 facts about the Interex. The Interex were a highly advanced interstellar human civilization that existed across some 30 star systems at the time of the Great Crusade in the 31st millennium. The Interex, unlike the Imperium of Man, had decided that the best way to deal with intelligent alien species was not to exterminate them or make war upon them, but to try and coexist with them. In fact, the Interex had become the close allies and nominal overlords of a simian alien species called the Kindbrak, who they had integrated into their own society. They were first encountered by the Lunawolves during the Great Crusade, following the Legion's war against the world of the Megarachnids, called Murder by the Imperium, which was actually a prison planet for the vicious alien species. The Megarachnids had been imprisoned on Murder by the Interex after being defeated in a terrible war and deprived of all their spacefaring technologies. The technology and science of the Interex was in many ways more advanced than even that of the Imperiums, but was not as strongly focused on waging war. Devoted to fighting chaos, which they referred to as Chaos with a K, they regarded the Imperium's 63rd Expeditionary Fleet skeptically, as they thought that the Imperium might be allies of Chaos. The Interex's government was in diplomatic talks with Horus and his peers when Erebus of the Wordbearers, a Space Marine chaplain, tainted by the powers of Chaos, infiltrated an Interex museum of technology called the Hall of Devices. The Hall of Devices housed alien artifacts and weapons. Erebus stole the Kindbrak blade called Anatham and rigged the building to explode, which only affirmed the Interex's initial fear about the Imperial forces and inaugurated an unfortunate war between the two human cultures. Fighting broke out between the Space Marines and Interex forces on their world of Zembia until Horus was successfully evacuated off-planet. It should be noted that the Interex warriors were quite a match for the Lunawolf Space Marines under the War Master Horus's command. The Interex ultimately became enemies of the Imperium after the hostilities between the two human civilizations. The Interex knew the blade that was stolen was connected to Chaos and concluded that the Imperium must be allied with Chaos. Unknown to Horus, Erebus of the Wordbearer Legion had already turned to the worship of the ruinous powers of Chaos. The powers of the Warp had informed Erebus and his Primarch Lorgar that if they wished to bring Horus over to the side of Chaos, then they would need this blade. The Interex civilization was ultimately wiped out by the Lunawolves, following their commencement of hostilities between the two human factions on the night Erebus stole the artifact. The Interex had incredibly advanced technology available to them. At first glance, many of Horus's warriors believed that the Interex were aliens in the shape of centaurs. Later, it was found that the centaur base was a form of mobile fighting platform used by Interex warriors. They would walk into the base and find a warrior who looked much like the mythological representation of a centaur with increased mobility. They also used a type of bow or crossbow that Horus's Space Marines rode off as decorative parade weapons until a skirmish revealed that they could emit bolts of laser light fully capable of punching through even a Space Marine's armor. The Interex also had automated drones throughout the society that were akin to advanced artificial intelligences, as opposed to the Imperium's less humanitarian use of cybernetic servitors. However, the Mechanicum chose to use servitors because of humanity's prior experience with the Iron Men of the Dark Age of technology. Perhaps one of the foremost commandments of the Adeptus Mechanicus, cult of the machine, was that no truly artificial intelligence could be created, so instead they used partially organic, mind-wiped cyborgs to serve as laborers and soldiers, thus solidifying and destroying the technology used by the Interex. And those were 40 facts about the Interex. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a short one because there's not much lore to them. But again, if you know of any other race, or if you guys would like me to cover any other topic of Warhammer 40K, please comment down below. Best place to look up information is, of course, the wiki page. The link to this specific race is going to be down in the description. We talked about certain things that we did not, or I talked about certain things, but not everything was covered that is on the wiki page, so I would say go over there, check it out. And again, guys, thank you so much for liking, commenting, and sharing. If you want to help us create more videos for you guys, please jump on over to Patreon. A simple $1 a month helps us create more videos and gives us time to research things more in depth. And again, thank you so much for everything, and I'll see you tomorrow. This was Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.